week of August for me, and now it's time to go out there and perform. So it was a fruitful camp, extremely fruitful camp. You know, you got to stay focused on the task at hand. For me, I had 12 weeks to prepare for the biggest fight of my life, and here we are. I'm excited about it.
For sure. And talk to me about this rematch from your perspective a little bit. Obviously, when a guy wins a fight, he's not the one that's calling for a rematch. So why would what went through your mind where you're like, you know what, I'm going to take this one. I'm going to give him another shot.
Yeah, I mean, I just always take. I've never said no to a fight. I've never pulled out of a fight. That's two things I can say about my career. I've always stepped up to the plate for Bellator. They've always stepped up to the plate for me, you know. So to me, he seems like the best. You know, he's the best talent in the lightweight division. You know, for me to fight. Obviously, Patricio is preoccupied right now, and Benson is the number one guy to face, in my opinion. So I was supposed to fight him back in December, and he pulled out of the fight. So here we are, first week of August, about ready to do it. So I like rematches because it's always another opportunity for me to go out there and outperform the previous performance. So I want to beat him more than I did the first fight.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, how much do you think you guys have changed since that first fight? Do you feel like, you guys are similar fighters? You've changed a little bit. I mean, you guys were vets when you fought then, and you're vets now. So do you expect the same Benson Henderson, a better one, a worse one?
I think the same. Benson hasn't really changed a lot over the last, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. He's a hard guy. He's a hard guy to beat badly. He's a hard guy to finish. He's a durable guy. He's versatile in every position. He knows where he's at on his feet. He knows where he's at on the ground. He knows where he's at up against the cage. So for me, it's exciting to be able to go out there, put on a dominant game plan that I know I'm going to be able to execute. Because I've gotten a ton better. I've gotten a ton better every single time I step into the cage, whether it be poise, composure, still getting faster, still getting stronger, still getting more explosive. And I feel like I'm the best I've ever been, so I'm ready to go out there and do it.
And on the Bellator, the last card that Bellator had, they ran a interview with you and Benson on a split screen with Mike Goldberg asking you questions, and he kind of made some comments about how he thinks you're going to come out and wrestle him. And I asked him about it here, and he said he felt like you maybe had regressed a little bit in the striking, that you were less willing to kind of be that guy to knock people out. I mean, what's your assessment on that? What's your take on him saying that?
Well, it's interesting because I knocked out my last guy that I fought. And then before that, I stood there and traded with Patricio. Before that, he knows I'm a guy who throws heavy leather. I think, if anything, that was him playing possum, talking about wrestling so that I might go out there and try to just chase him around like a chicken with my head cut off. The good thing about me is I am a salty veteran now. I understand how to win fights. I understand how to win this fight. I won it in a dominant fashion the first time. I'm going to win it in an even more dominant fashion this time. Will I get the finish? I don't know. It remains to be seen. I still say I give him props for being one of the hardest guys in the world to finish in any division, across any promotion. He just doesn't show damage, and he's hard to choke. He's hard to knock out. But if anybody can do it, I can do it. So I'm going to try to do it on Friday night.
And you talk about the first matchup being dominant, yet it was a split decision. So in the back of your mind, is it like, hey, I gotta make sure that I'm not in that margin of error for the judges to even think that it's Benson's fight?
Yeah, it was very interesting to me. I mean, obviously I'm and I've watched the fight a ton. It's got 10 million views on YouTube, so a lot of people have watched it too. I don't see how you don't give me 3 rounds easily, so I don't understand where one of those judges was looking. That's the problem with judging, in my opinion, is I really don't think that they are scoring round by round. I think they go in and they say, okay, the fifth round went for this guy, so I'm going to go round 2, 3, 4, whatever, So it's interesting, but either way, the onus is on me. That split decision was not the judge's doing; it was my doing. I got to make sure that every position, whether we're standing on the ground, if I'm on top, bottom, or on cage control, I have to win more minutes than he does. I got to be more dominant than he is in those positions, and I'm going to get my hand raised on Friday night.
A couple more quick ones from me. You talked about, how you're hoping to get back to the goal, and Patricio's tied up. Where do you think a win over Benson puts you? Do you feel like that the rematch should be next? I know obviously Patricio's in this tournament, so it's kind of a little murky there.
I'm not really worried about whatever happens after this fight. This is a big fight for me, important fight for me. I'm a free agent after this fight, so as soon as I get done with this, we'll speak to Bellator. We'll see if we can't come to an agreement, and then we'll go from there. So I'm not worried about Patricio. I'm not worried about the title. I've held the title 3 times. I got 4 of those things sitting on my mantle at home. It means a ton to me to be the Bellator champion. Does it pain me that I'm not the Bellator champion? Of course it does, but the next best thing is the next best thing for me, which is winning the fight on Friday night and then seeing what happens next.
And I believe the last time that you entered free agency, you were very open. You said, you want to explore your options, see what's best for you.
I never actually became a free agent.
Okay, so
it was reported wrong in the media. I've never been a free agent, so this will be the first time in my career I'm actually a free agent.
is it scary at all? Is it something that you're looking forward to?
It's not scary. I mean, this is the fight business, this is the hurt business. At the end of the day, I truly believe in my skill set. I believe in myself. I believe in what I bring to the table. I'd be just as happy with one of 10 scenarios. I'd be just as happy to have already signed a new deal with Bellator and do a 10-fight deal and retire here at Bellator, get a job at the desk with Big John and those guys, and be a part of the family for the next couple decades. I also am not afraid to take a chance on this fight, take a gamble on myself, know my worth, and know that there's not a day that goes by that I get reached out to by thousands and thousands of people about the exciting matchups that they want to see out there in the world. So for me, it's just business as usual. Friday night, I got to go out there, get my hand raised, and that's what I'm going to do.
Last question for me. You talked about it's business as usual, and you do have that worth. Everybody knows Michael Chandler, and I'm sure anybody would be happy to have you on the roster. But is there any extra added pressure to get a W going into free agency, knowing where your worth's going to be?
I got to say, yeah, of course there is. Of course there's added pressure. But I was just talking to Josh Thompson, who's in the commentator interviews. He knows as a fighter, every single fight your head's on the chopping block. It doesn't matter if you have the guarantee of 3, 4, 5 more fights with an organization at a set amount. If anything, it's going to make me perform even better. So yeah, there's added pressure, but there's always pressure. Every single time we step into the cage, it's what the fans and the media and the people who don't fight don't understand how much pressure is on us every single, not just every fight, but every day. Every performance, every time we go out there, we're laying it on the line. Not only are we laying our physical body on the line, we're laying our paycheck on the line, our world ranking on the line, the future of my family, the legacy I want to leave is always on the line. So for me, I've done nothing but train extremely hard, like I'm trying to be the best lightweight in the world. Doesn't matter if I'm becoming a free agent or I have 10 fights left on my deal.
Gotcha. Well, good luck, Mike. Appreciate the time, man.
Appreciate it.
Good luck.